Hey boys, what you doing?
Getting ready to watch a Blu-ray movie, Dad.
Oh, did you hear that Blu-ray encryption was cracked?
So what?
Who cares?
Who cares? Look guys, stealing in any form is wrong, and stealing movies and music is not a victimless crime. So to understand how the encryption was broken, first let's understand how it works. Intel created high bandwidth digital content protection, and it runs on three key principles: authentication, key exchange, encryption, and revocation, with the authentication piece happening again every 2 seconds to recheck to ensure compliance. So the way it works is this: Intel has a master key from which it devises secret keys for each of the manufacturers of various kinds of equipment. When two devices are connected, the first thing that happens is the authentication and key exchange, using a public key and that private key that came from the manufacturer. It talks between the transmitter, which would be like a PlayStation or a Blu-ray player, to a display, like a high-definition television set. And once it uses this asymmetric block encryption method to exchange keys and everything is communicating, the actual stream of data can begin. So pulling from that private key, which is on a programmable read-only memory on the device, the Blu-ray content is encrypted, transmitted over an HDMI or DVI cable using a stream cipher, then decrypted on the other end so that it can be displayed and enjoyed. An interesting piece of the scheme is the revocation factor. That means that, say, a particular hardware manufacturer or a line from that manufacturer gets breached and those private keys are no longer private. That means that Intel pushes out a list of all the revoked keys out there in the industry, which can transmit to the individual devices by internet or even being encoded on other Blu-ray discs that might be played on the device. And it would basically nullify the ability for that device to either transmit or display its content. So in 2010, Intel found its master HTTP code posted to the internet. And they didn't really freak out at first because they figured you had to have all this hardware to make it work. Well, in 2011, a group of German researchers did exactly that. And for $267 and some commonly available components, they built exactly that hardware, which could intercept and decrypt the signal without detection. So why it matters, it's not just about one movie or some music being pirated. It's about the fact that this represents intellectual property. Hollywood is a major U.S. export, so we shouldn't devalue the hard work that goes into making such big blockbuster hits and such great music. Just the same way that we wouldn't devalue the research and development or the inventions that fuel the economy of this country. That's why it matters.